For this reason that we are gathered here today is to make our official position known on the subject regarding the establishment of an act to create a national commission for ALMAJIRI education and out-of-school children to provide for a multimodal system of education to tackle the menace of illiteracy, develop skills acquisition, and entrepreneurship programs, prevent youth poverty, delinquency, and destitution in Nigeria and for related matters. As a civil society, we have looked at these issues critically, and we think that as a nation, the idea of duplicating agencies of government to seemingly pursue and perform the same functions repeatedly is counterproductive. We also think that at the eve of this administration, there was the proposal to effectively and successfully implement the Orosanya report. The Orosanya report was targeted at streamlining government agencies to minimize costs and increase efficiency. But along the line, this government has not been able to effectively carry out the Orosanya report's implementation. That is, they've not been able to work properly on the Orosanya report. If that has not been done, there will be no need for us as a country to continue to duplicate agencies to perform almost the same function, because it is not adding value. As far as anything is not adding to, it is subtracting. If we're not adding values, we're subtracting either our capacity or our value to effectively carry out assignment. We are very, very confident that the universal basic education, by the law establishing it, by the policy guideline, has the capacity to cater for young persons within the supposed age to get adequate education. If you are a nomad, or you have a parent who are nomad, there's another agency of government that seeks to take care of that categories of young people. And if you were by privilege of exclusion or by privilege of your parents not being so economically advantaged, you did not have a childhood education at the right time, there is another agency of government by name, the National Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult and Non-Formal Education. These are agencies that have the capacity in terms of the framework that established them. What we should be focusing at this level is to help develop capacity, retrain and retrain the manpower within these agencies so as to get the required results. Secondly, we must improve our funding for education. The United Nations has a benchmark for a developing country. The National Assembly should focus on encouraging the executive to bring bills that reflects that percentage benchmark. In a situation where the executive is not committed enough to the development of education to bring in that benchmark on the budget, the National Assembly should use her powers that allows it to add or subtract to the budget to improve the educational budget of our country. And by so doing, these already existing agencies will have sufficient funds, will have sufficient financial capacity to go about delivering on the mandate for which they were established. I give you an example. There were 157 model ALMAJIRI schools built some years ago in this same country. And the schools were built by the already existing agency. I personally believe, and we believe as a civil society, that what government is to do, specifically the National Assembly, what they should do now is to see how best to put in more resources into this agency, and then adequate budgeting and proper monitoring through oversight to making sure that the monies appropriated gets to the institutions that they are expected to. We have discussed backward and forward at the civil society level. We strongly believe that at this time, we do not need to duplicate agencies for ourselves. We equally call on the leadership of the National Assembly to be more pragmatic in urgently increasing funding for the aforementioned agency so that we can address the ALMAJIRI issues in Nigeria squarely as we seek to build a better and stronger nation, leaving no one behind. Hopefully, by the grace of God and by the commitment of the media personnel here, this message will get to the appropriate authority, and we hope that the National Assembly will not duplicate by creating another agency. Thank you, and thank you.